feeling a victim, for example.
Well, why do you choose to believe that you are? How do you define yourself? What do you get out of defining yourself as a victim? How does that work for you?
Well, it doesn't.
And don't say it doesn't, because you don't do, none of you do anything you don't believe works for you. So if you are being a victim, it's because there is a belief, conscious or unconscious within you, that somehow being a victim works for you. Because if you truly, truly, truly knew it didn't, you wouldn't choose that belief and you wouldn't have that feeling. Because remember, all feelings come from something you already define as true. And the only reason you choose something that you don't really prefer, but keep choosing it anyway, is because you have attached a belief to your mechanism of motivation that says that is the actual best choice in comparison to the alternative. Even though you know the alternative might actually be what you prefer, obviously that must mean that you have a belief attached to that that makes it actually seem to be the lesser choice. So you have to find out what kind of a belief or what kind of a definition would you attach to your motivational mechanism to make being a victim seem to actually be the more beneficial choice. So what might some of those definitions be?
Well, for example, I have a tendency to smooth.
You have a what?
Well,
You have a what?
Well, I said tendency.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You are making choices. You don't have tendencies, you don't have habits, and you don't have patterns once you know you have them. A habit, a tendency, a pattern is something you do that you don't know you're doing. Once you know what's there, it's not a tendency, it's not a pattern, it's not a habit, it's a choice if you keep doing it.
Right, you're right.
And your definition of a pattern, your definition of a tendency, your definition of a habit is what allows you to keep blaming the habit for continuing to do the same thing. Because your definition of a habit has been that once you discover you have the habit, there now has to be some special process you need to go through to let the habit go. When in fact, the discovery of the habit is the end of the process. The habit's gone once you realize it's there.
But it's still there.
Because you're choosing it to be there. That's what we're saying. What we're saying is the fact that you keep doing it is no longer the product of habitual behavior. It's the product of choosing it because you have a belief that says that's the beneficial thing to do.
I understand.
And now it gives you an opportunity, once you bring it into conscious recognition, gives you an opportunity to explore what that belief must be and why you think that belief serves you. And to thus then choose an alternative if that's what you really prefer. But in order to choose the alternative, you have to identify what the definition is now that's making you continue to choose the thing you say you don't prefer as if it were the thing you did.
Right.
So again, what would you be getting out of the experience of victimization that would make you to continue to choose it? Sometimes, I'm not saying this is the case, sometimes it can be as simple as choosing something that is more familiar than what is unknown to you, because you've attached a definition to the unknown that makes the unknown seem scarier than the thing you don't prefer, because the thing you don't prefer is more comfortable and more familiar. And that might be enough to allow you to keep choosing the thing you don't prefer because you're so afraid to choose what you don't know.
That's accurate.
All right. Then allow yourself to understand that you can change the definition of the unknown. Because there is absolutely, I guarantee you, there's absolutely nothing you will ever discover in the unknown that isn't simply more of yourself. You're the only thing that inhabits the unknown. That's it. So if you're afraid of yourself, you won't go there. But if you're not afraid to be who you really are, you will go into the unknown with open arms, knowing that the unknown is nothing more than an exciting adventure of discovery of more of who you are. So when you define it that way and know that that's the definition, that's true for you, you will then switch the priorities and you will see that going into the unknown isn't scary, it's actually more beneficial, and you will move forward by acting on your excitement, and no longer will you experience the idea of being a victim.
Yes.
And again, to add one more dimension to this concept that we have called the 13th step, when you make that shift, you actually do become a different person. So it's not even that you become someone who no longer plays the victim game. You actually become someone who never did. You have a completely new history. The past is created from the present, not the other way around. When you become a truly new person, by definition, from a linear perspective, if you're really a different person, you have to have a different history that made you who you are today. So when you choose to shift to become the person you prefer to be, that person has a completely different timeline path, and that person never experienced what the person that was here a moment ago experienced. Because she's no longer here. You are. Make sense?
That is so awesome. Yes,
It
does
is,
make sense.
Yes, there is some awe in it. Yes. But we prefer to know that it is full of awe, making it awful.
Thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes, tremendously. Thank you.